Hey friends, and welcome to Crafty Southern Home. I am Christine. Look what a treasure I picked up. Now this is really cute for someone that had like a nautical theme, but you could tell this is not real stained glass, you guys. And I was just showing you the little sticker on the back. I did leave that. Um, I can't remember what it said, and I didn't write it down, but I did leave that. So I'm just going to wipe up the front real well. It had a lot of sand, and especially in all of this stained glass look. So this is just like a kit I guess you could buy. I've seen them before at Hobby Lobby. So it's got like the lead stuff that you put on it. So I was basically able to take my hand and my little putty knife and scrape all of that off. I did use some water to spray it down real good, and I scraped all the paint off and got all that cleaned. So if you find a project like this, it's not real stained glass, and it's in this frame. I really like this frame. It already had the hangers to it, so it's going to work perfect for any of your DIY makeover thrifted flips. So it was just a little bit of a work, well, a lot of a work to get all that off, but just clean real well, and you can scrape all of that paint off. I'm not sure if that was acrylic paint, but I have seen, like I said, in my hobby stores, I have seen that paint that says it's like stained glass paint. So I'm just taping off the back. I didn't want any of my paint to get on the back. I wanted to leave that little wood look, and I did like that little tag that's on the back when I put it in my booth. Someone might really appreciate that, so I just left all of that natural as is. Again, I just cleaned everything real well with my little Lysol wipes. So I'm put masking tape on that back. And then I'm going to come in with my DIY paint, and this is the color Apothecary. I love this color. It's kind of between a blue and a green, kind of a sea glass color kind of thing is what I'm thinking of. And just keep in mind with DIY paints, the color that it looks in the container, it does dry a little bit different hue. So it dries a little lighter than what I think, which is usually kind of opposite of what paints do, but it does dry a little lighter. And I am taping my masking tape and taping off the front of the glass too, just because when I paint that frame, I'm trying to get the least possible cleanup afterwards from the painting. But DIY paints do go on really well, kind of just like butter. So they're easy to spread. They have great coverage. I did like a coat and a half. I didn't do any distressing on it. That would be totally optional. That would be pretty to let some of that wood grain come through. But it's all to your taste what you're doing with your crafting. So I did cover that real well on the sides and the front. And then after that dries, I am going to come in with some folk art chalk paint, and that's the color. I believe that is Adirondack or either Cottage White. Those colors are real close, so it's one of those two shades in the white, but not bright white. And I'm going to do the technique of dry brushing. So what you're going to do is get the paint on your brush, and then I'm just using my paper towel here, and then I'm going to take most of that paint off. Now, I did like the looks you can see there where it's like a little clump of paint. So in some spots I did a little bit heavier, some spots I did lighter. Sometimes I would just come in on the paint that's on the paper towel and dab into that instead of into the paint container. So I'm just going all around the frame. And again, that's to your liking as well. But to me, it just adds more of that country, French country, shabby chic look. And that's what people really like now. So I'm thinking, if I put this in my booth, I might keep it for myself, but I'm thinking it's going to sell real well. So I'm just going to dry brush all around the edge, and then I'm coming in with DIY clear wax, and that's going to be my sealer. Now, this clear wax goes a long ways. So I'm just going to brush it on I let it set for a minute or two, and then I'm coming back with a paper towel and just wiping back the excess. So just think of this like a furniture wax. Do people even use furniture waxes anymore? Anyhow, you guys, more towards my age, I'm not going to say my age, but you guys more my age, we used to use like old English on furniture. Think about that. And that was for protection. So it's going to sit into your project. The longer it sits, it's just going to integrate all into your grain, your wood, and it's going to really protect your surface. So I just cleaned my glass real well, and I showed you that bottle. I got that out of automotive section. And I actually think I was in an auto parts store. I don't know, probably for bug wiper, windshield wiper, or something other fluid. But anyhow, so I just cleaned my glass real well, but that does work good. And I just cleaned it with my little microfiber cloth. I am going into my IOD transfer booklet. This is Lover of Flowers. To me, it's very springy. And I'm gathering up the Forget Me Not, and it's got some script on it that's very beautiful. I'm hoping when I show you the final to show you how beautiful and delicate that script is, but it's got this little writing about the forget-me-nots. I love it. But I'm also going to go into my IOD Fairytale Florals booklet just because I'm grabbing out this little butterfly because he's so pretty. I also grabbed a little piece of a flower that's called a bluebell, and I will put that on there too, just because it's in that same hues that the forget-me-not has. So I'm going to place my biggest transfer. Wasn't quite center, a little off center maybe, but just make sure if you're doing on glass, or I would say ceramic, any shiny surface, that you make sure where you're going to put it. Because when you lay it down, if it touches that surface, it's pretty much going to stick and you're not going to be able to move it around. So I'm just using my little transfer tool that comes with your, any of your transfer booklets will have a transfer tool with them. And I just basically, if it's a larger transfer, I kind of take that tool and rub all over. And then I'll be a little bit more picky and certain where I'm transferring. I just want to make sure, especially with this script, because it is so delicate, that all of it is laying down. So you're just going to take your tool, rub it across your transfer. You can actually see it release from that little carrier sheet. And then you're just going to slowly pull up that carrier sheet. If something does not transfer down, because some of those little letters, I actually had to put the carrier sheet just back down before you pull it all the way off, and use your tool and just keep rubbing and it'll come on there. When I'm through with everything that's on my little sheet, I turn that piece over, and then I'm going to burnish that into my project. And you can do that with your fingers too. It doesn't necessarily have to be with that sheet, but you just want to make sure, especially with this glass, that everything is laid onto that glass. The little butterfly, I just wanted to make him look like he was sitting out on a little leaf like in nature. So I'm just going to lay him down as well. And then I'm going to do the smaller piece of the forget-me-not and also that bluebell flower. And then I'm going to burnish both of those real well into the glass as well. I am not going to go over my glass and seal it because it is glass. And I think no matter what you put on it, you're going to be able to see it. And I figure because it's glass and it's on a frame, it's not going to need that much protection anyhow, but just make sure that you do burnish it real well into your project. Then I'm just going to take some ribbon I had on hand. I'm going to bring out the pinks. They're near the flowers. And I've got a pretty pink. It's got one side of it is like a velvety. And I'm going to just tie knots and put that into those little hangers that are on there. And this project is finished. Y'all, I am obsessed with this project. It is so pretty. It's so springy. I'm kind of ready for the springtime. I hate to say that because then summer follows here in the South right quick. But y'all, I love these colors. Please let me know what you think. Throw me some comments, some likes. If you're new to my channel, I'd appreciate it so much if you'd hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. You guys are awesome. Y'all have a blessed week. Thank you.